Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're going to talk about Uprising because the game mode is going to be available for 2 or 3 days and it's, in my opinion, the best mode in order for you to grind some credits. So you better play that game all day long and especially this game mode if your goal is to get those mighty tier 10. For those of you out there that are new to the game, Uprising is a game mode in which you will be able to revive 2 times, so you will have 3 lives in total. And trust me, in 3 lives you definitely have enough time for you to do a lot of damage. And if you combine a premium tank plus some special abilities like a credit booster or even some experience booster, you will get shit ton of experience and credits at the same time. And trust me, it's gonna make your grind a lot easier. But let's be honest, Uprising game mode is a double-sided sword, because if you win, yes, you will do a lot of credits and you will definitely get rewarded for it. But if you don't manage to do that and you just lose, you are gonna lose a lot of credits. This is why I think it's important for me to give you some tips on how to play that game mode correctly and not getting wrecked at the beginning. First of all, your first life, you need to hold it as long as possible. Let me explain briefly why. Usually, in this game mode, the more you die, the more special abilities you will unlock. And the thing is, at one point, all the tanks are becoming so overpowered that as soon as you're spotted, you are gonna get destroyed if you are the main target of your opponents. And in order for you to prevent that, or at least to be able to analyze what the enemies picked as special abilities for you to be able to counter them, you need to analyze them. And what's the best way to analyze? To not die, hold your lives in order for you to become relevant a little bit later during the game. Now, the second advice I'm going to give you that is not necessarily linked to whatsoever being good at this game mode is to use those credit boosters, because that's the whole point of Uprising, having fun while making millions and millions of credits. Now, a third tip I would like to introduce you to: choosing your special skills wisely. Usually you have 3 choices. One where you get a bad skill, and that only requires like 100 of the currency in order for you to unlock it. The second one being an average normal one, to finish off with a special one that is completely broken most of the time. It can be double shot, inferno, etc. And so you need to analyze what your tank is good at in order to pick the right one. Of course, you will have them kind of forced to you, because you don't have the possibility of choosing among the special skills, etc. It's totally randomly generated. But sometimes it can be good for you to hold off your currency, especially if you die in the early game. Because the more you sustain on the battlefield, the more damage you do and the more kills you get, the more currency you will earn in order for you to unlock all the skills. Of course, if you are lucky enough and get 600 of the currency, which is bloodshed, if I'm not mistaken, you will be able to get yourself all the skills at once. And here the question doesn't seem relevant to be asked. But if you die within the first 1 or 2 minutes and you only have the possibility of picking 1 or 2 items, this is pretty much how you want to do it. If you have the possibility of only picking 1 and it's a chain lightning, you get chain lightning. If you only have the possibility of picking 2, for example, here for myself, I have double shot, wolf strike, and sixth sense. Here, as I died in the early game, I only got myself 500 bloodshed, which is enough for me to get 2 and not the third one. So I went for the special and the average one in order for me to have a good combination of different articles that will allow me to be relevant on the battlefield. Now, the second question to ask yourself is, are my skills gonna be useful? What I mean by that is that, for example, if you get yourself, let's say, an Inferno into an E25, it's not going to be that relevant, because Inferno is something that allows you to get a lot of damage. It takes into consideration, if I'm not mistaken, 25% of your total hit points plus your average damage to inflict the mighty first shot that will destroy half the hit points of your opponents. Is it relevant on an E25? No, it's not. Why is it not relevant? Simply because this tank has low hit points plus a low alpha damage. So Inferno, you would preferably have it either on a tank that has a huge alpha damage, such as the Smasher, And if it's not the case, something that at least has a lot of hit points, such as the mouse. Of course, all those things I'm talking about are kind of confusing the first time you're playing Uprising. But the more you play, the more you will unlock them and understand what it is all about. Now, good advice on your second life. So at the second one, you start having some skills and you start becoming relevant on the battlefield. You need to analyze where the enemies are. It's extremely important because usually people tend in this game mode, that I don't know why, to stay on the exact position because they fear of losing. Because of course, it's not a regular Blitz game here. In this game mode, guys, you have to take into consideration the fact that people are going to play 8 minutes, and if they lose a lot of credits and they're upset. So people are going to play a little bit more carefully than if it was in random. And due to that fact, they tend to stay at the exact same position, which is a good advantage for you, because when you know where they are, you have the possibility of countering them or getting countered, like it's my case right there. Now, and another thing we need to talk about concerning that game mode would be the, how is it called? I forgot the name of it. The special skill that you have straight away. For example, me, the one I have right now on the Progetto is, in my opinion, the most broken one, and it's something you can't change. It's linked to the tank you're playing. And basically, this one allows me to go back in time. So if I get shot and go back 4 seconds back in time, I don't have the shot that is applied to me. My enemies will still have their damage counted, but I will still have all my hit points. Like it's the case right there. You saw I got shot by the standard B and I came back to normal. And having those kind of tanks, or at least playing those kind of tanks, those equipped with this special ability rather than any other else, will help you quite a lot, because this one allows you not to be punished for mistakes you could do. And it becomes even more outrageous for your opponents once you enter in the last 1 or 2 minutes of the game, because using this skill, you have the possibility of completely turning around the fate on the battlefield, which is always something nice for you and something raging for the others. Now, that being said, gotta be careful, guys, about one last thing. In the latest part of the game, do not do any mistakes. Don't try to rush in because you think you're overpowered, because if your tank is broken, then the ones your enemies have are also broken. So step back a little bit, try to analyze, and don't waste your time. For example, here you see that we start getting into the tough part of the video and the tough part of the replay. So I'm trying to analyze and see where the enemies are, and especially try to target the lonely targets. That's what I did. I killed the T-54 E2, but I came back to the rest of my team, because usually when you're playing in this game mode, you want to stick to your team. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of complicated. So there we go. We sneak a shot on the T-95. And as you can see, I'm not even trying to rush through. I'm trying to go back to my original position, which is in support of my team, in order for my enemies not to be able to push me. And you see it works, because we're already at 11.2k damage in this game mode, which will bring us a lot of credits you're going to see after. And now we enter in the last span of the game, in the last minute, and here you can try to rush as long as you don't do anything stupid. For example, here you saw that the T-92E1 is camping with the rest of its team on the other side, and the T-95 just died, so we 100% sure know that the guy is still in the spawn. So there we go, we are sneaking one shot. Now I'm not moving, I'm gonna wait for the T-92E1, I'm especially gonna wait for him to shoot me with the Inferno. I'm using my special skill. Now I come back to life, God bless, I got not punished for my mistake. He dies because I kill him, and the rest of my team did the job as well. And all of this, guys, allowed me to get those mighty 300,000 freaking credits. Just imagine you do 3 games like that in a row, and boom, you get yourself 1 million credits. So those are all the special advice I would give you toward those little Uprising games. On top of that, if you want to take a look at the different abilities you have the possibility of acquiring, you just can get to the ability which is right below the battle section, and you have it on pretty much every single tank. It's not just something I have on my Progetto. And from there, you see the epic skills, the rare skills, and the common skills. Try, if you can, it's based on luck, but if you manage to get the Chain Lightning and the Inferno, it's the best combination, combined with the time jump. Here, you will be the king on the battlefield. So hopefully you enjoyed, you learned one thing or two about what's waiting for you in the Uprising game mode. And yeah, guys, get those credits. See ya.